Hi, and welcome to this episode of Cosplay Gourmet. Today we are doing Harry Potter, and I'm going to be making the classic English dish of shepherd's pie. So for today, you are going to need beef or some sort of ground beef. It can also be made with lamb. I'm using about 2 pounds of some chopped sirloin. You're also going to need about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of celery, onions, carrots. I'm using about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, freshly chopped, some beef broth, some gravy mix, and then your typical ingredients to make some mashed potatoes. So some milk, some butter, potatoes, salt, pepper, and then I like to top off my shepherd's pie with some cheddar cheese. So that's what you're going to be needing for today. So I'm going to start by putting on my potatoes on the water. I've already started heating up my water to a medium to high heat, and I've already sliced up my potatoes and peeled them. Just one thing with this is you want to make sure that they are in similar size pieces, otherwise they're going to cook at different rates. So go ahead and put those on the water. Perfect. Okay, and I'm also going to start by heating up my pan with a little bit of cooking spray, because I'm going to start off here by cooking my meat. Okay, my pan is now hot and it's been slightly greased, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump the meat in. So my meat's done cooking. As you can see, it's all brown, cooked through pretty thoroughly. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off the burner and put it aside for a second. And let's see if we can put it right into this bowl. Okay, and I'm going to put this back on. Put on a lower heat, so about low to medium heat, and I'm going to put my broth and my gravy mix in. The reason I'm using gravy mix is because I haven't made gravy from scratch. Typically this is kind of a dish that they used to make after having leftovers from a Sunday night dinner. You know, you'd have your roast mashed potatoes with vegetables, and then they'd create this dish as a kind of a Monday night dish to kind of recreate the meal. And in that instance, you would have, you know, your gravy from your drippings. So in this case, I don't, so I'm just gonna use the powder. So now that I have my gravy mix, I'm going to start adding the vegetables to get to a low simmer before the underlying mixture for the shepherd's pie is complete. Okay, so I have my gravy mixture ready. My vegetables have become softened. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw back in my meat mixture so they can all kind of cook and simmer together. I just want this gravy to get cooked down a little bit because it's still a little bit runny. So until then. My beef and vegetable mixture is all set, so I'm taking it off the heat and I'm just going to throw it into the bottom of a glass dish and have it be prepared for when the mashed potatoes are done. My potatoes are cooked thoroughly. I can tell by poking them with a fork. It goes right through them and the potatoes almost fall apart. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drain all the water out here. It's really important to try to get all of the water you can possibly get out. And then we'll get to mashing and adding our butter and cream. My potatoes have been drained, and I put them back into this pot just because it kind of retains the heat. The one thing you do have to be careful with is if you're using a metal beater, trying to hit the sides, or else you might cause some scratching in your pots. I've also brought my butter and my cream to room temperature, which will help with not cooling down my mashed potatoes and risking them becoming gooey. So I'm just going to add my cream. Oops, spilt a little bit. I like to add a little bit as I'm going through, just so that I can kind of weigh the texture of the potatoes. So I'm going to put this on the lowest speed mine has.
Constant vigilance!
And we have a guest!
While mashing potatoes, you must practice constant, never ceasing vigilance!
Come on, Mad Eye. Come on. It's okay. Constant. It's okay.
Eventually.
Mashed baby potatoes, I'm just going to add a little extra pepper and some garlic. It's really just to your taste. And I'm just going to stir that in. And then from here, I'm just going to go ahead and you want to put this in kind of big dollops on top of the meat and vegetable mixture. If you'd like, you can get fancy with this. You can even pipe it on or do whatever kind of swirls and decorations you'd like. And as you can see, I'm kind of dolloping it on right now. And then if you'd like, you can kind of smooth it over after. Okay, I'm just smoothing down my mashed potatoes just because that's the way I prefer it. Everybody gets an equal portion then. My mashed potatoes have all been smoothed out, so now I'm just going to grate some cheese on the top. I will warn you that this is not customary to a shepherd's pie. This is kind of my version of a shepherd's pie. And the way that my family, who's English, traditionally makes it. So everything in here has been cooked. Once I grate the cheese, I'm just going to throw it back in the oven until the cheese melts and it's ready to serve. I have my cheese grated all over the top, so now it's just into the oven until it melts. My shepherd's pie is complete, my cheese is all melted, so I'm going to take it out and I believe it should be ready for serving. Yep. So you can see here, my cheese is gooey and delicious because cheese makes everything more magical.
That looks good!
Thank you, Mr. Moody!
Perfect.
We are going to go into the ingredients in a second for our treacle tart, but number one ingredient that we need is breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to go ahead and make some of my own breadcrumbs here. Took a simple loaf of bread and I'm just going to grind them up. Hi everyone, we are now going to start making treacle tarts, which is Harry's favorite dessert. And to make this, you're going to need 2½ cups of breadcrumbs, 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of confectionery sugar, 1 cup of either molasses or light corn syrup, 2 sticks of butter, 1/3 cup of heavy cream, 2 egg yolks, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and the juice and zest of 1 lemon. We are going to start by combining the flour, powdered sugar, and salt in the food processor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then once I have those combined, I'm going to add the butter a little slowly at a time. I already have it in chunks. And you just want that to combine into a light meal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you my consistency. So as you can see, my consistency is a little bit thicker than the normal powder. It has more of a yellower tinge, and it's clumping together. Now I'm taking my cream and I'm combining it with my 2 egg yolks and my teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm just going to beat those together and then I'm going to add that into my flour mixture. I'm now combining my egg and cream mixture into my flour. And I'm just going to combine it on low. My dough has now formed. It's pretty good consistency, not too sticky. And now I'm just going to take it out of here and wrap it in saran wrap, splitting it in half into 2 different sections. And then I'm going to refrigerate it for probably about 2 hours. Our dough is chilling and it's just about ready to come out. So now is the time to make your filling. So I have Professor Mad Eye Moody, the one and only, to make the filling. So he's going to walk you through that.
First thing you're going to have to do, you want to warm up the molasses on the stove on like a low-medium heat to make it a little bit runny, because this is unwieldy. Do that. And then you wait. And we're done waiting. So now It's runny and soupy and not like molasses at all, so we're going to combine this, the breadcrumbs and the lemon and lemon zest in the mixing bowl, and then we're going to mix in it. And that is delightful. It's like a fine soup. Innovate. Once you get your filling to a nice soupy dirt consistency, then you're going to be preheating the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
I have my half a dough, and now I'm going to press this into the pan, and I'm going to reserve the other half a dough to put on top after I finish putting in the filling. Half a dough. I have my mixture, and I'm just going to put it over my dough. Fill it up.
Half a dough.
With the remainder of the dough, just try to make a lattice top for the tart. Once you have that complete, you're going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes, you're going to decrease the heat to 375. Our treacle tart is complete. We did bake it for 10 minutes at 400 and then turn it down to 375 for 20 minutes.
25.
375 for 25.
Do that again?
No. So that's it for this episode of Cosplay Gourmet. Thank you for watching. That was good.
Alright, please, let me. Turgio!
This doesn't count!